to Saturday morning's live stroll. It's quite a fresh morning, around 5 or 6 degrees, but nice sunny start. So I think we're going to have a lovely sunrise. Um, so when we get round the other side, hopefully we'll be able to enjoy that together. But for now, it's pretty chilly. So what's everyone's plans for the weekend? Hopefully you're not having to work. If you are, only for a minimal amount of time. We've got quite a nice relaxing one actually. James's social diary, he's fishing and golf, so he tells us this weekend. By the sounds of it, it just sounds like we've got to get into where it needs to be. Anyway, we'll make the most of today because tomorrow, tomorrow is, well, if you believe the weather forecast, supposed to be a bit of a washout, so we'll watch this space. And FA Cup final day today. Those in the UK, around the world, obviously. Supposedly the showpiece in England. It always used to be the last game of the season. Well, we've got the last games of the Premiership season next weekend, then you've got obviously the other cup finals. So it always seems a bit strange to me that it's so early, but anyway, it is what it is. There's a World Cup this season as well, of course, isn't there? But talking about football, and I'll keep it short because it was just painful to watch last night. Aston Villa versus Liverpool. Those that know, I do follow Liverpool, and it is just so painful. And it's every week, and I just find myself getting more and more angry watching it because it's just so painful to watch at the minute. It really is. The best thing, and I know I shouldn't say it, best thing that can happen if Liverpool don't qualify for the Champions League, which I don't see happening, not happening, should I say now, and then they get him out and then you can go again, because I just think he hasn't got a clue. Forget all the injuries. You can still tactically make your team better. Very, very painful to watch. Anyway, good morning to everyone joining up. Welcome to Saturday morning's live stroll. Azra is leading the way. She's just sniffing everything this morning. As I said a bit earlier on, it is freezing this morning. Really, really cold. Not ice on the cars, thank goodness, but it is chilly. But we'll have a nice sunrise when we get round to the fields and beyond. So we've got that to look forward to as well. If anyone wants to play the geography game, tell me where you're watching from, apart from the UK. Tell me where you're watching from and I'll try and guess the time. Nice and straightforward. Just put in the comments where you're watching from. So we're heading across over the main road and then obviously to the fields beyond. If you've been with me before, you'll know the route. If you've not been with me before, we're usually out for about 40 to 45 minutes on a Saturday. Well, most mornings apart from Sundays where it's a bit longer, depending on where we go. Now, is that New Hampshire in the USA? Now, if it is, and I may be wrong, but if it is, I believe you're 5 hours behind us. So does that make it about 12:30 midnight? Let me know. Wow, damn, I'm good. I only know that, and I'll be honest with you, because New Hampshire, sort of on the same time zone as New York and Florida, I think, is it? I think if I'm right with the 5 hours, then I am right. And having visited both, I was pretty sure. Yeah, that's definitely a late one. You're up nice and late. Because I would have been tucked up in bed at that time. I did actually get up actually at 1:45, 5 to 1 a.m. UK time. Because I did get to watch the beginning of SmackDown. But I lasted about 15 minutes, half an hour, and went back to bed, and I'm watching it currently just before I came out. I'll watch the end when I get home. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for the comments. Hi to Pal. You've been on before, haven't you? Definitely. I remember that name, I'm sure. Really nice to have everyone chipping in with the conversation. Any more geography gamers? Again, tell me where you're watching from. I'll try and guess the time. I'm not always 100% nice, but I'll try. So tomorrow, as I said, it's supposed to be pretty rubbish weather-wise. Now, it won't stop us coming out. We'll be out probably between 6:30 and 7 a.m. UK time. But if the weather's rubbish, I'm not going to be going for an extended stroll. I'll probably just do a similar stroll that we're doing now. I'll see. Because the ground is so hard at the minute, a bit of rain doesn't really harm it. It's just to do the further walks, you're out in the open and just going to get soaked. So we'll see. Yeah, enjoy your beauty sleep as well. Have a good one. Hi to Charlie. Go on, good girl. If I miss anybody, I'm honestly not being rude. I'm purely doing this whilst I'm talking to you as well. I don't always see things coming up on the phone. When I do these lives when I'm at home, I do usually have another device going so I can see sort of the comments going at the same time, or even depending on what we're doing. Julia's sometimes in there with us as well, and she will keep an eye on that for me as well. So I do have a system, but when you're out, just me and the lovely Azra, things do get missed sometimes. So please don't take it personally if I miss you. Okay, so we are now over at coming over to the fields. I wonder what carnage we're going to find over here this morning. It was Friday night last night, so I'll wait with bated breath. Hopefully nothing. Hopefully the kids might have been tucked up in bed last night rather than causing all sorts of havoc. And hopefully in a bit I'll be showing you the sunrise, although it's still quite cloudy over the back. Azra's looking for somewhere to go to the loo, so I'm preparing a bag. She does this all the time. She's like, should I go there? Should I go there? She's now finally going. Right, onwards. Let's go. Go on, Azra, lead them. Yeah, that is unbelievable. That's a football pitch, and someone's let their dog crap there. That is absolutely unbelievable. It gives people like me and other dog walkers that do the right thing a terrible name. anyway. Unfortunately, he takes all sorts in life. Try not to moan on our channel, but that does frustrate me. Oh, we've got the horrible magpies over there. Azra, come on. Come on. Not many bunnies over here. There's one that's just headed to the hedge over there. Don't know if you can see that running over there. Apart from that, it's very quiet over here this morning. Azra! He's more worried about rolling in the fox and rabbit poo, guys. So, this was the first of the 4 fields we do. We're now heading through the first little bit of woodland, and it is a tiny bit, this one, into the second field. And then beyond, we'll be heading towards the bigger bit of woodland and into the third field. So, hopefully there are some regular viewers. You sort of know where we're going. If you're not, and you're new, obviously you're always welcome. But more importantly, this is a surprise. And the first thing I'll try and show you, but that's not even really coming above the line. I thought this had been fished out of the lake, so unless this is another one, that's really, really, really worrying. I might be wrong, but I'm sure that was fished out. Is there too much rubbish there this morning? In what they call the dome. Seems quite calm there, actually, for a change. Go on, Azra, lead on. See if we can see the ducks this morning. You frightened them yesterday morning. I was talking yesterday about the lack of ducklings I've seen this year. Haven't seen any swans, so to say haven't seen any cygnets is difficult. But it's a shame. There were some ducklings over at the science park, but unfortunately the magpies got them. Which I think nature can be pretty cruel at times, actually. Yes, this is in England. Where are you watching from? We are currently still playing the geography game. So all you need to say is where you're watching from, and I'll try and guess the time. Can't promise, but I'm 1 from 1 this morning, so we're doing all right. Her name is Azra, Azra in the title for you, and she is a rescue dog. She was fortunately in a box at the side of the road when she was about 3 or 4 months old. Someone had dumped her, and we've had her since she was 6 months old, and she's just turned 5 at the beginning of this month, so she's a good dog. In the USA. Where in the USA? I need a little bit more. There was one person at the beginning of the chat that was in New Hampshire, and I guess that. But the USA could be pretty broad. It's not like the UK, where the UK is in one time zone, which is why I always say to people in the UK, don't play because there's no point. Just give me a city and I'll try my best. The nearest big city. West side of USA. Okay, so you could be 5 hours behind us, sort of just about sort of 12, quarter to 1 a.m., 10 to 1 a.m. your time. Depends where on the west side, but that's sort of the same time zone as sort of the New Hampshire. So I'm sort of guessing without really knowing where you are. I'm sort of guessing on that. Been very lucky to come to the US a few times in my life, and I sort of know the New York, Florida sort of time zone is sort of 5 hours behind us. Las Vegas, 8 hours behind us. Um, so sort of I've got a bit of an idea, and of course I believe sort of LA is sort of 9 hours behind us. So I've got a bit of an idea, but are there only three time zones in the States? So I think I'm right on the Eastern Time, Central and Pacific. Am I right saying that? I think so. It's when you get people from sort of Asia and India sort of watching, because it gets far more technical then, because you get half hour sort of time zones as well as our time zone. So when you get people, let's just randomly say Mumbai, they could be half hour time differences as well as ours. So all of a sudden, that's a really, really tough challenge to sort of get right. You can sort of get in the ballpark, but without knowing really, it's difficult. So, but I enjoy playing geography game, and we've had a bit of participation this morning, so that's good. I am aware of the yeah, the situation with the prices. We are actually coming to America later this year, and it is a little bit of a worry, to be honest with you. I'm sort of hoping by then that this Iran business is sort of sorted and sort of things sort of settle back down again. You just thought every time there may be a bit of a glimmer, it sort of just gets shut down. So you sort of don't really get your hopes up anymore, really. But yeah, I am aware of the expense. And it's being passed on to people like you and me. There's no two ways about it. And I think a comment that was made by your president about he doesn't worry about the people. Now, whether that was taken out of context, I don't get political on this channel, but it was said in some context. And that I think is worrying for the longitude of this war, to be honest with you, because there's going to be a lot of people pushed onto the poverty line, unfortunately, because of it. The longer it goes on, the worse it becomes for everyday people like you and I. So we are walking towards the sunrise now. It isn't as spectacular as I was thinking it was. It's sort of clouded over to when I left home, actually. When I left home, it was fairly clear, and it is fairly clear about, but it's just this big sort of continent cloud. That's how big it is. Has sort of done away with it, really. Shame. Anyway, it has been a lovely stroll this morning, chatting with people from all corners of the earth. Do you know what? After the UK, the United States is my second biggest viewing population, so it is nice to sort of speak to a view this morning. I'm very well aware, here we go, train over here. I'm very well aware um, of the time zone problems of you guys watching. You know, if you're watching on the sort of west side, 5 hours behind, so that makes it 12:30, sort of Las Vegas, and obviously LA, that side, sort of central and eastern. Sorry, yeah. Sorry, if you're on the west side, I'm talking absolute rubbish, aren't I? You'll be 8 hours, 8 to 9 hours behind us, not 5. What I said, I wasn't reading that properly. Um, anyway, the point is, it's late. It's late at night, wherever you're watching from. It's not late. It's not early. Well, if you, depending on where you are, it's got to be between 9 p.m. and midnight. Let's just put it like that. Let's just put a broad scale on it, I reckon. So if it's the earlier, as in 9 p.m., no, not too late. If it's nearer midnight, I'd be snoring. And yes, it is morning here. It is 5 to 6 a.m. here in the UK. And we are sort of smack bang between London and Cambridge here, giving you some sort of idea of where we are. Where are you going? Where are you going? That way. Over the rickety old bridge. Perfect. There you go. See? I didn't guess it exactly, but I gave you broad scale. And that just goes to show if I actually read your messages properly from people, I would have known that. Go on, Azra. Good girl. Go on. Good girl. Now we're crossing a road that is normally traditionally quite busy. At this time in the morning, probably not so, but you still got to have your wits around you because it's a fast old road. And we're good. Let's go. It's the electric cars you've got to worry about as well, guys. You don't hear them. I was watching a vlog last night of some people in Orlando. They went out in one of these driverless taxis. Can't remember what they were called. There is a name, there is an app. Someone might be able to tell me. But it must have been quite surreal, and they were unlucky. They got really bad pouring rain as well. There's the sunrise over there. They were very unlucky with the weather they had. But yeah, quite a surreal experience. Might have to give it a go. Not sure how Julie would feel, but we'll give it a go. We don't live by a farm. We live in the country, countryside. Maybe what you would describe as your sort of central Midwest sort of farming communities, but no, we don't really live by a farm. Sort of the farms are sort of further out, but just sort of in the countryside. There's a lot of green area, sort of between villages and stuff. So no, not really. There are farms around it, all around, obviously, but not really near to one per se. Yeah, we are very lucky. I think we're going to be coming back into the residential sort of bit in a minute, which sort of I always my heart drops and people just coming in because they think, oh, what's he talking about the countryside? But we are very lucky. And if I did do the extended stroll tomorrow, the whole stroll would basically be the countryside. But it's just the weather's supposed to be pretty crap tomorrow. And it just sort of puts you on the back foot if you're soaked before you even start. So we'll see about that. Another thing, temperature at the minute for almost sort of mid-May, still really chilly in the mornings. I'm sure the world is having huge problems with global warming, but it does feel pretty chilly in the mornings. I mean, I've watched a few vlogs from last year, funnily enough, where I was out. I was out in shorts and a t-shirt at this time. There's no way you could be like that, not at the minute. Maybe next weekend, the bank holiday weekend, is supposed to be super hot, which is unusual for us in the UK. You've still got time to change. Well, at least it doesn't just rain in the UK then. Hopefully, when we come to America, to the Sunshine State, the weather will be kind. I'm fully aware we are sort of booked sort of during hurricane season, but we'll deal with it. I think sort of unless it's a particularly violent one, sort of life resumes pretty quickly. And from what I've seen, um, depending on where you are in the States, of course, we're very lucky we don't have those sorts of storms here. We sometimes get pretty violent winds, but not hurricane force, and not for a prolonged period. The storms are made in Africa, sweep across the Atlantic, and hit sort of the Bahamas, the Caribbean, the southern states, and then we usually get the remnants of them 2, 3, 4 weeks later. That's usually how the world climate works when it comes to those sorts of storms. So we're going to be coming up to the fourth and final field in a minute. Don't want to promise you loads of bunnies in there, but that's usually where they are. This field is usually pretty undisturbed, actually, but we are a bit later as well, so who knows. We're usually getting here normally around 5:30 normally, so half an hour later. Depends how many other people have been out. So a lot of people have tuned out now, but don't forget to like and subscribe if you are still watching or watching the rerun of this. YouTube stats tell me that as many people watch the lives as they do the reruns of the live, which I find interesting. But as I say, it's the second biggest population viewing is America and the time zone difference. Maybe it shouldn't surprise me. Right, so there are bunnies all scattered up the left-hand side of the football pitch here. You might be able to see some of them. They are beginning to skedaddle quite quickly. I see 3 now. 2, 1, gone. All hiding in the bushes, watching us walk by. This is usually where Azra just find a stick if there's going to be one. Uh, Sometimes lucky, sometimes not. Gives the crazy dog a name. And then when I get home, I've actually got... This is how much earlier we are this morning, guys. I've actually got an hour when I get home before I need to go out. I was up early this morning and I've just got on with it. But it has helped this morning coming out, talking to some new people. So that's always nice. That's a too small Azure. Oh, that's unbelievable. That's why she gets her crazy name, guys. She picks up the smallest stick in the place. We'll try to find you a bigger one. Now she's going to have a wee right by it. Nice. Well, you haven't brought it with you, so that's small mercies. That'd be an embarrassment if a bigger dog saw you. Come on, come on, come on, come on. We are sort of going around the football pitch where James used to play his football. Um, this is the intermediate pitch, they call it. So it's a sort of a 9v9 pitch. And as I say, it is smaller than the normal, and I'll help our American friends, soccer pitches. I don't know sort of how you do it in America. Sort of at youth level, do you sort of play sort of 5-a-side, 7-a-side? Oh, Azra, stick. And so on in the UK now, I think ridiculously it's 3-a-side, 5-a-side, 7-a-side, 9-a-side, and then 11-a-side, depending on your age group. How can you play mini football 3-a-side? How do you get any team ethic? It's just nonsense. And how are you able to build up a squad when only 3 players can play at any one time? Lord knows. Yeah, I don't get RFA at times. I really don't. What have we got here? She would love that. She's fascinated by my drone when it goes up. Fascinated until it gets to about 150, 200,000 feet, and then she can't see it anymore. And then the only time I see her is when it comes back down again. Fascinated by it. Absolutely fascinated by it. Like she's fascinated with that stick that she's just now left. It takes everybody, and I know a lot of people. I mean, when you think the UK is predominantly, there you go, put my words out. Football, cricket, rugby, maybe. There's a lot of people that don't follow any of it, and that is absolutely fine. That's what makes us all different. Doesn't make it right or wrong, does it? Just makes us different. If we were all the same, it'd be pretty boring, wouldn't it? I think. Still very chilly, guys, even though. And just so I can show you, I've got the sunrise. I want to get that camera right for you. Lovely. Taking a bit of time to get going this morning, but it is there now. So we're heading round towards now the science park, and then we'll wind our way back up towards the high road, which we crossed a lot earlier on. And then we'll sort of be heading home. So we've got about another 10, 15 minutes together. As I said earlier, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, you'll know when we're on. The West Coast friends on here will definitely get a better time of day to watch the strolls. During the week, it's usually sort of around 5 UK time. So, judging by what you just said to me, the time was be about 9 p.m. your time during the week. But at the weekends, slightly later. Obviously, this is normally I'd be at about 6:30, 7 on a Sunday AM UK time. So, gives you an idea. Yeah, I know. Yeah, crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. Yeah, maybe I should have phrased my question differently about the football stroke soccer question, because of course it is two different things in the States. But of course you have got the World Cup, or one of 3 countries to have the World Cup this summer. The prices to go to Orlando this summer, because of the World Cup, were double what they are the same time next year. and I believe Orlando isn't even hosting. Um, got a World Cup venue. I think it's only Miami that has. Maybe wrong on that, but I think I'm right. Um, so yeah, it's quite strange why, like, unless they think people are going to fly to Orlando and then drive down to Miami. Hell of a drive, of course, but achievable, of course. 100%, 100%. So my sort of sports for me, not that I play that much anymore football, but I do play soccer for many years. Um, Injuries just caught up with me really, and as you get older, it takes longer to get over these things, unfortunately. But I do still play a bit of golf. Golf is golf anywhere in the world, isn't it? Got the PGA Championship going on at the moment, so that's possibly all over the sports news in America. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. There is an American near the top, of course, isn't there? Or a few Americans actually near the top. So I'd imagine it probably is. Some of the less known Europeans are sort of doing well at the moment, and the sort of more well known ones are not. So yeah, we're heading through the last of the wooded areas. We're now sort of running parallel with the science park. When we go through the science park, we cut straight through the spine of it. The labs are on either side of where we're walking, and they were quite strong here during the pandemic, with sort of making or helping to make, obviously, breathing apparatus and stuff like that. Um, so more power to them. Whenever I used to walk around here, there always used to be people here working every day, even the weekends. They were obviously doing shifts and stuff. Oh, just leave it. It's just a bunny, Azra. Go back to concrete jungle. This has actually been here many, many years. As long as we've been here, they have built a new campus, or a sort of second campus, sort of further down the road behind me. Which again, at some stage, we might be going to a live vlog of. It's very difficult because there's security in here, and I don't really like sort of walking through it too far with the camera on, because then you just draw attention to yourself. They think you're doing a spying mission or something. You know, they must see the same people walk through it every single morning on their cameras and know the regulars. But still, every so often you get a security guard approaching you. Go on, Azra, lead on. We've got some alder ducks over there. Little male one just there, and then there's three under the tree there. We might see them a bit better. Hopefully Azra doesn't try and pull towards, go over there and startle them. Just here, see? Just under the tree. Quacking away. We've got a male by itself, two males over there, three males and one female. Blimey. We like ducks. As I said earlier, shame that the magpies got their babies earlier on, probably about a month or so ago. Nature can be very cruel at times. I know people say, oh, it's all evolution. Is it? It's a bit of nonsense as well, really, isn't it? How can there be evolution if the babies are killed? And this is the sunrise, guys, to show this to you. Beautiful. Supposed to be a reasonably warm day. Not like next weekend, if you believe the weather forecast already. Next weekend, they're saying almost 30 on Friday and Saturday. Today, more like about 15, 16, I think. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start getting ready to wrap this up. We've probably got another few minutes. We're going to cross over the road and start heading to the housing estate. So it's been absolutely lovely having a chat with people this morning. Been a nice leisurely stroll, flown by because of people like yourselves. Yeah, it was an awesome sunrise actually. It was very, very pretty. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call this one a day. Have a great day when you get back up again, my American friends, and we will reconvene similar time tomorrow. Cheers, guys. And there's Azra saying goodbye. Azra, are you going to say goodbye? Azra? Good girl. Well, you don't have to sit. Good girl.